And then I'll go in, or just here. Yes, very nice to see you. You can go all the way up to the front if you'd like, or even get here, wherever you feel best. Enjoy.
In the past, I haven't really had anybody on the screen, but I kind of want to have some people. Would you mind kind of go like up there so we can kind of have people can see on the screen if I walk around, people demonstrating? Okay. Right there. Hello, Anita. Catarita. Good evening, everyone. We'll begin in just a moment. I put myself a little bit more to the center to invite so people at home or coming in can see other people in the room. So if any brave souls want to like come, a little bit here, feel welcome. Yeah, nice. I will be a little bit on my back to you a bit when I'm talking, but I like to move around a little bit. All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm sorry, I have my back for a moment to you. A happy Easter Monday to you all. Thanks especially to the students who are here tonight amidst their finals. I hope this can be a chance for you. Well, finals start in a few days, but hope this can be a chance for you to relax, calm the mind a bit before the last stretch of the semester. I was here yesterday morning at 10 in the morning and had the overflow mass down here. So it was fun to celebrate mass in what I've called the yoga hall here. And so tonight is the final of this little series that I've been doing on Monday nights throughout Lent. And so being Easter and the final stretch of it, and adding in a few more elements to tonight you may have seen. So it'll be the standard 7:30 to 8:45 of an Ignatian spirituality and yoga session with about 45 minutes of movement, and then a guided Ignatian contemplation. And then we'll bring out the Blessed Sacrament and adoration. We were down here on Good Friday, Holy Thursday and Good Friday for adoration, and had a nice little kind of tent set up. That was really beautiful to all be around and pray in silence together. And so I thought let's continue that. So we'll bring the Blessed Sacrament down, and Travis and I are going to lead a little Taizé chanting. Taizé is a form of Christian prayer, an ecumenical prayer. It's in Taizé, France. And so we're going to do a little chanting of a few songs, and then we'll have some time just to sit in silence. And the adoration last week being around reminded me of being in a temple in India, being in a this one ashram I was at, where they talked about it as like a battery recharging center, to come and like sit in the linga, sit around there. And I thought, wow, reminds me a lot of praying near the Blessed Sacrament. And so that's a element to bring in tonight. And then bhakti yoga of devotion, is often chanting bhajans. And there's Christian bhajans, there's different bhajans. But the Taizé prayer kind of reminds me of this bhakti yoga a bit. So we'll practice some Raja yoga, which is where Hatha yoga and vinyasa came from, this movement. We'll practice some bhakti yoga, and we'll practice some meditation. So feel free to stay and go after at 8:45 or so. If you need to leave, just quietly make your way, and we'll then bring the Blessed Sacrament right in the middle. Easter. So what is been praying a lot this week, and really considering and talking with people, what does resurrection mean? What is this? What's the claim that this Paschal mystery has on us? And considering what are resurrection moments in our world today, right? That this isn't something that just happened once 2,000 years ago, but is something that plays out throughout perhaps each day of our life. This self-emptying, this letting go, this detachment, this opening up to receive God, receive Jesus washing our feet, and then being sent forth, right? So moving into this union, this connection, this intimacy that Jesus invites us into with God. But it doesn't end just in that union and intimacy, but it's also a call outwards, right? So of service. And also the path of suffering. That suffering is part of most spiritual journeys of the spiritual life, right? So we can move through that suffering, move through the challenges, the adversities of life, rather than running from them. And yoga is a great place where we can practice moving in, feeling that the edge, being aware of the thoughts that come up, that the thoughts maybe of where we want to always comfort ourselves or escape or numb out. Can we breathe through that, be with it, but be with it with Christ, with a God who is alive, with a God who resurrected, in the sense where the suffering and the death aren't the end, right? They're part of the journey of being human, and yet there's something more. And so we live in this Easter time in joy, in hope that there is something more, that goodness and love will triumph. There's a lot of different words I mixed in there, but I hope that, and I think why I love yoga is we can move beyond words into silence, moving through these different layers of the self, of the body, the koshas, moving through these deeper states of consciousness into that union, and then go outwards, right? Go off the mat and into the world and put that into practice. So to begin, let's come into seated meditation or laying down. So let's just take a couple minutes, as I've been beginning most of these classes, with a few minutes just to settle, to arrive, to drop in. So if that's seated and cross-legged, or sitting in hero's pose, virasana, if it's laying down, I think at the end of this day, it's kind of nice to just lay and settle for a moment. And beginning to arrive, allowing this integration of the breath, the body, the soul. Perhaps a busy time, definitely, at the end of the semester, a busy time for Easter triduum that we just moved through. So when we have a lot of movement and activity and unknown, it's important to resource ourselves. So the resources that we always have are the ground, to ground ourselves, just to touch the ground, to feel the ground beneath you. Sometimes just to like place your hands on a solid surface can be a first step of just coming into the present, of stopping the swirling or the being pushed around by the waves. And then the other resource that we have is the breath. So beginning to become aware of the breath, the slower, deeper, more conscious breath, perhaps inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth or the nose. Just watch the breath a few times, coming in and out, perhaps filling up the lungs and the belly, expanding like a balloon filling up. And as you exhale, allow the navel to move towards the spine. And the next resource is gratitude. It's becoming aware of the grace it is to be alive, of the gifts that we have, that God has given us. Gratitude for this life that we have, and for the many different gifts and graces that have allowed us to be here in this moment, to take this time to care for ourselves, to draw closer to God, to the divine Spirit, the living Christ. Now I invite you to become aware of an intention you might have or a grace that you're seeking during this session or during this Easter Monday. Perhaps the grace to come to draw closer, to be aware of the living God, the God of joy. Allowing any word or phrase to come up. Now starting to introduce some movement into the body. You're just becoming really aware of the movement through the fingers, the hands, the toes, the feet. This miraculous gift we have of the body, of our bodies. The incredible miracle it is, the way that we are woven together, and become aware, this interoceptive awareness of what is happening within the body. Maybe taking your arms overhead along the ground, taking a morning stretch, or if you're seated, just reaching overhead. And then bringing the hands down. If you're laying down, maybe like a little snow angel here, which it's not too hard to imagine because here in Michigan on April 18th, we had snow. A couple times like this, just making a snow angel, maybe opening the legs. And exhale. One more time like that. And if you're lying down, just take the knees, bend the knees, bring them into the chest and give yourself a hug. Wrap the arms around the knees and rock a little bit side to side. Press the low back down. And then from here, make your way to hands and knees. So either coming through fetal position on one side or rock and roll forward and back. Let's begin some movement, beginning some cat-cows here, starting to awaken the body, connecting the breath and the body here. So on your inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone, arch the low back. And exhale, soften down, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin towards chest. Go ahead and taking a few cat-cows like this. Your inhale, press the hands into the ground, really gaze upwards between the eyebrows. Your exhale, curve the spine. Imagine a string pulling that spine up. And then introducing a little more movement, maybe side to side, wagging the tail, taking the hips side to side. And then maybe taking circles with the hips, going in one direction, taking the hips to the side, down by child's pose. Maybe close the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And taking the hips a few times each direction. Again, being aware of the body, being aware of this union, the union between the individual soul and the divine spirit is coming together. And tonight we'll move a little faster than other weekends, than other Monday nights, but I invite you to make this practice your own, right? Slow things down, speed things up, make the pose your own. Just live in joy, have fun with it. Come into a spinal extension. So beginning, just root your both hands down and take the right foot behind you and push back through the heel and then point the toes. So a little back and forth a couple times, flexing and pointing. Yeah, some circles with that right ankle. And then if you feel steady, the next step would be to keep that right hand grounded and take the left hand out in front of you. And you can either stay here or add in a few crunches, taking the left elbow towards right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bringing it in like this cat-cow motion, but with just two of our limbs on the ground. And then your next time, just lengthen and extend and bend the right knee so you could press the foot along the ceiling above you. And maybe taking your left hand to reach back for the right ankle, top of the right foot. Keep pressing the right hand into the ground and get a nice arch of the spine. Breathe. Staying here for a couple breaths. And if you're not in this bound pose here, that's fine. Just finding some other expression of it. When you're ready, gently release. Try not to slingshot the leg back. Gently release and keep that right hand on the ground. Take the left hand to the left hip and open the left shoulder. Turn the heart. Reach the left arm up to the sky. And taking a few circles each direction with the left wrist. Nice. And don't thread the needle. Take the left arm underneath the right arm, left shoulder to the ground, left side of the face to the ground. Maybe keeping both knees where they are, or maybe extending the right leg long with the toes tucked. And press that right elbow up towards the sky. A couple breaths here. Feel that twist. As you're ready, gently unthread the needle and come on back to center. And we'll switch sides. Take the left foot back, or the opposite of one you did last time, and a little flex point of that left foot. Some circles, lubricating the ankle joint. And if you feel steady here and want to take it up a notch, you can extend the right arm forward, spinal extension, a long line from the left foot through the right fingertips. And then maybe taking 1 or 3 crunches, squeezing it in. And the option to bend the left knee, like pressing that foot like along the ceiling and either keeping it there, maybe a pulse, or maybe reaching back for the foot, the ankle. Press the left hand, get a nice back bend here. Open the heart and chest. Very gently release. Back to hands and knees to tabletop and reaching the right arm up to the sky. Well, rolling of that wrist a few times each direction. And threading the needle, taking the right arm underneath the left. Let the right shoulder, right side of the face rest down. If you did on the other side, maybe extend the left leg long, either toes tucked on the ground or maybe lifting the leg up in the sky, whatever your body's inviting you to. And then gently coming back and unthreading the needle. Let's come into child's pose. Take the knees wide, big toes together. Coming back to that deep breath, inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale through the mouth or the nose. Coming back to the grace that you're seeking, your sacred word, your intention. We're going to come on up to downward dog from here. So let the hands come strong on the ground. Open the fingertips, making an L shape with the left hand and a backwards L with the right hand. Wrap the elbows closer to the center. Tuck the toes. Lift the knees just an inch off the ground. Or as Sandra here says, just a credit card, if you could slide it underneath the knees. And then take it up another couple inches. And slowly all the way up and back. Push the ground away from you. Press the heels towards the ground. Bend your knees as much as you need. It's just walking out, the bend one knee, straighten the other. Let's let both heels fall over to the left. Taking the hips a little bit over to the left and feeling a stretch in the right side body. Coming back to center and taking the heels, let the heels just drop over towards the right, the toes towards the left a bit. Feel that side bend. Come back to center. And shift, come forward to plank, top of the push-up. And lowering down to your knees. Keep the tailbone lifted. And then slowly come down with the heart, knees, chin, and chest come down. And let the whole body come down to the ground. With the hands underneath the shoulders, lift the head, lift the shoulders. Let the shoulders soften down. Find length in the neck. And release, come back down. 2 more times like this. Inhale, maybe lifting a little bit higher. And exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Let the elbows press in towards the rib cage. Exhale, lower down and turn your face towards the left and just rest for a moment lying down. And then open the arms out to the side. Your arms perpendicular to the body, making this cross shape. And we're going to gently roll over to the right side. So keep that right arm extended. Lift the left elbow off the ground, maybe tenting your left fingertips. And take your left leg, your left foot to the outside of the right leg. And feel this shoulder stretch, the opening in the chest. And come on back to center. And switching sides, left arm straight out, right arm comes up a little bit. As you press the body, take the right leg, maybe taking the knee towards the sky of that right leg. Come on back to center. And then take the arms out in front of you. Lift the right arm and the left leg off the ground. Exhale, lower down. Left arm, right leg, lift. Exhale, lower down. Both arms and legs lift off the ground. And then maybe if you're feeling steady here, take the arms behind you like you're just in slow motion, underwater, down to your side, and then rest for a moment. Take your head the other direction, over to the right. Bring the head back to center. So a few options here. We're going to come into another back bend. You can just lift like this in locust pose again, maybe reaching your hands behind your back, clasping the hands, maybe coming into a bow pose, reaching back for the ankles. So a few options. If the hands don't clasp, no problem. Just lift the shoulders, taking a couple times, just lifting the head and shoulders a couple times gently. It's hard to do these as I have two microphone systems in my pocket, so I hope nobody's pregnant doing these poses here. Another breath, lifting up a little bit more and gently release the legs if they're clasped. And then take the hands under the shoulders and come on back to child's pose. Nice. From child's pose, back to that downward dog. Tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. And bend your knees and gently walk your feet between the hands. Come into a standing forward fold. Bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Two more times like this. Inhale, halfway lift. Extend the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Ragdoll pose, maybe grabbing opposite elbow. Bend your knees as much as you need. So rather than locking out the knees here, let the knees bend so your torso, your head, your neck can really hang heavy. And very gently, one vertebra at a time, start to rise. Whew, got hot in here pretty quickly. I think Chris was cranking that heat earlier. Take the hands up to the sky. Release your hands down to your sides, standing in mountain pose. Inhale, reach the hands overhead. And we'll take a side bend over to the right, maybe clasping the right hand around the left wrist, maybe clasping that thumbs, maybe releasing the hands. So just find a little side bend, a few breaths here. Grounding down through the feet, but finding length all the way through the body. And when you're ready, your inhale comes back to center and side bend over to the left side. back to center. And release the hands down to your side. Just gently rest for a moment here in Tadasana. Lower or close the eyes. Becoming aware again of the breath, the grace, the intention. And let's take a couple swings side to side, tapping opposite hip, getting a nice twist to the spine. Maybe tapping opposite rib cage, shoulder, maybe shoulder blade. Maybe a little faster. A little faster, as fast as you can here, or as fast as you feel is appropriate for you. And now let's do the opposite of that, as starting to slow down and just doing the slowest movement you can. Maybe just closing the eyes and feel yourself moving through space. A little twisting side to side, nice and gently and slowly. Nice, and coming back to your center. Let's inhale, take the arms up to the sky, and goalpost or cactus the arms. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, a little more of a back bend. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands to the ground and step or hop back to plank, top of the push-up. And lowering down either knees, chin and chest, or chaturanga through that push-up. And inhale to either your upward dog or maybe cobra with just the tops of the feet and the hands on the ground. And just take a moment, look over, gaze back at the left foot, the right foot. Tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. Take the right leg up and back. And you can do this from hands and knees too. So either hands and knees or downward dog. And here the option to take the right knee towards right tricep or right shoulder or right elbow or shoulder. And take it back up to the sky. All options here. But perhaps you need a little bit of ab workout after eating a lot of sweets. Inhale, reach the leg back up to the sky. And knee towards nose. And then step it between the hands. So either stepping it right between the hands or maybe using your hand to get it there. Lower the left knee to the ground. So a low lunge here. And just move through splits, half, quarter, full splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. A few times, inhale, coming forward to your low lunge. And coming into a twist. Left hand stays on the ground, right hand to right knee. Twist, feel the spine. Twist, maybe reaching the arm overhead. And bringing the hand back down. Okay, now from this low lunge, tuck the toes, lift the left knee off the ground, and then coming in to a high lunge. Take the arms up to the sky. A little twist here, left arm forward, right arm back. Maybe staying here, maybe taking the right arm to the back of the left thigh and left arm up to the sky. Good. Let's open out to warrior two. Windmilling open the arms. Take that back foot, the left foot out to a 90-degree angle. Right knee stacking above the right ankle. Gaze over the left or the right fingertips. Inhale, lengthen both legs, straighten both legs, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, warrior two. Again, lengthen, reaching both hands up to the sky. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, reaching up. And let's come into a reverse triangle pose. Taking the left hand down the left leg or around the low back. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Come on back to center. Back to warrior two. Rebend that knee. And let's come into side angle pose. So the elbow can stack, the forearm can stack on top of the right thigh, just above the knee. Hand can come up to the sky. Maybe the hand comes inside or outside the foot. And then turn the torso over the right leg. And back to hands and knees, maybe through a vinyasa. And then we'll meet back in downward dog or hands and knees. All right, so meeting back in downward dog or hands and knees. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So take the left leg up and back behind you. And maybe taking some crunches, left knee to left tricep or elbow, or just taking it in a little bit. So a few times like that. And your third crunch in, take the knee towards the nose and then step it through between the hands for the low lunge. Good, and from this low lunge, let's take it through a few times between this splits, quarter, half, full splits maybe, and your inhale brings you back to a low lunge. So taking a few times like this, or any variation of that, low lunge to half or quarter splits. When you come into the splits there, point your toes back towards you. And then just pause for a few breaths in either one of these poses or somewhere in between, maybe in the low lunge, maybe in that half or quarter or full splits. And then find your way back to that low lunge, and we'll take the twist. Left hand or right hand down on the ground, and left hand either to the left knee or maybe up to the sky. Nice. And taking the hand back to the ground. Okay, so from here, we'll come into that high lunge. So a bit of a challenging transition, but make your way as best as you can, lifting the knee and then reaching up to the sky. Strong right leg, deep bend in that front left. Maybe staying right here, or you can always come back to that knee. And then we'll take that awkward twist, right arm forward, left arm back. Maybe taking the left hand to the back of the right thigh. And slowly coming around, opening out warrior two. Left foot forward. 90-degree angle with that back leg. And check in with the front left knee. Left knee about right over the ankle. And then your next inhale, lengthen, press through the feet, lift the hands up to the sky. Straighten both legs. Exhale back into that warrior two. Two more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale. And staying up here, this next time we'll take the reverse triangle pose. Right hand down right leg or right hand along the low back, wrapping around the low back. And then at your own pace, making your way back to warrior two and right into side angle pose. And taking your hands back to the ground and either back to hands and knees, downward dog, maybe going through the vinyasa, through that chaturanga push-up. Inhale to your up dog or cobra and back to downward dog or hands and knees. All right, well, since it's Easter Monday, let's go through that one more time. Maybe a little faster. Maybe you skip something or add on something. So take the right leg up and back. Right knee towards right elbow. Inhale, lift up and back. And next one, let's just take it right through. Right knee towards the nose and step it through, low lunge. A little movement through half splits or pausing in one of those. So most of all, listen to your own inner teacher here. Taking a twist. Maybe if you twist and you want to add in, like we've done a couple, reaching back for that back foot, you can add in there a little clasp of the foot. And then making our way to crescent lunge, high lunge. Maybe staying here or coming right into the twist. And opening out to warrior two. Warrior two, maybe moving through those movements or just staying for a few breaths in warrior two. Reversing the triangle or reverse warrior. Your knee can be bent or straight here. Making your way to side angle. And from side angle through chaturanga or through the vinyasa or back through the downward dog. And I'm going to leave you here to do the other side on your own. I'll go through the sequence if you need to see or just watch along or make any variation. There's no right or wrong way here, as long as you're breathing and taking care of yourself here. Let's just keep going. Take another minute of playtime here on your own. Anything we just did or anything else that you need to do for another minute. Good job, Mary.
I didn't know this was going to be a chair yoga.
No, that's great. There's a minute left in this song. Let's just keep it going. Moving as you wish. A little free flow here. Moving with the spirit. When you're done moving and need a little stillness, we'll meet back in child's pose in the next 30 seconds. Coming back to the breath, back to your grace that you're seeking, the truth that you're seeking. And then we'll come back to hands and knees or to tabletop pose. And from hands and knees or tabletop pose, walk the hands between the feet and come on back to that forward fold, halfway lift. Fold forward. Bend the knees, reach the hands up to the sky. And reach your hands down to your side, pausing for a moment in mountain pose. And let's come into a warrior one pose. So step the left foot back about 3 or 4 feet. Left foot's pointing up to the top left corner of the mat. And bend through that front knee so the knee is stacked over the ankle. Left hip forward, right hip pulls back a bit, and then take the arms up to the sky. Clasp the hands behind the back. Wrap your shoulder blades around the back of the heart. Lift the heart up to the sky. And then lead with the heart, moving into humble warrior. Maybe just coming down, forward about 1/4 of the way, maybe halfway, so the spine is parallel to the ground. Maybe taking the elbow in or the shoulder inside the knee. Good. Release the hands now and take the hands to the shin or to the ankle. Step the left foot a little closer in, pyramid pose. Both feet are grounded. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward, and fold forward over that right leg. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold forward over the right leg again. Head towards the knee. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand stays down, either along the shin, the ankle, maybe inside or outside the foot. Right hand. Take the right thumb to the right hip socket. Pull the right hip back. And then maybe the right arm reaches up to the sky for a revolved triangle. One more. Inhale. Open up, twist a little bit more. Open that chest. And then take the hand down. Standing splits. Bring the weight into the right foot. Lift the left foot off the ground. Maybe just an inch. Or maybe straight up to the sky. And don't, when it's not about comparing. If I compare myself to Sandra here in the front, there's no way I can do it. All of us are going to do different things, right? Or Alan or many others. Let's take a curtsy bow. So bend both knees, right or left knee to the outside of the right shin. Maybe taking the right hand to the sky. Hand back, spinal or standing splits again. And one more time, curtsy bow. And then take that left knee to the outside of the right foot and come down and take a seat. For Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose. See if you can get your seat on the ground. I have a tough time getting it, so sometimes having like a little blanket or something underneath. And then see if you can press your right foot, the toes on the ground. And then we'll take a twist. So reach the right arm up to the sky. And take the right arm behind you. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Maybe wraps around the leg, or maybe hooks, the elbow hooks to the outside of the right foot, the right thigh. Your inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale into the twist. Come on back to center. And twist the other direction. Just a little counter twist here over to the left side. Good, and now shifting back to the left knee. Making our way back, maybe a little standing splits, maybe a handstand, or just taking the foot back to forward fold. And then take your hands up to the sky. Bring your hands down to the side. Pause for a moment. I love this song, Jack Johnson and Ben. But I would say, like, we can't do it with just our own two hands, but we have to do it with community, and we have to do it with the grace of God. We can change the world. But it's their song. Let's do the other side. Step back to warrior one. So right foot back. The hands to the hips for a moment, just to square off those hips. Bend the left knee. Take the hands up to the sky. A couple breaths here, warrior one. Take that gaze upwards towards the fingertips. Strong hands, but then soften the shoulders down. And next we clasp the hands. See if you can clasp the other way that you maybe typically don't. Take the hands down, wrap the shoulder blades around the back of the heart. And then beginning to come towards humble warrior, coming down maybe just a quarter of the way, half the way. Release the hands, coming into that pyramid pose. Hands to the shins, to the ankle, maybe to blocks if you have them. Yes, like David here, this is great having blocks in this pose. So pull that right hip forward, left hip back. Press down through both feet. Press down through the outer edge of both feet. Nice. And then the option to take the twist here. So take the left thumb to that left inner hip. Pull the hip socket back. Either keeping your hand here at the hip or taking the arm up to the sky. Revolve triangle. And then taking the hands down to the ground, standing splits. And standing splits into curtsy, bend both knees, take the right knee to the outside of the left calf. Take it up one more time, standing splits. And take the down and taking that right knee to the outside of the left foot. And then come down and take a seat. See if you can get both of your sit bones down to the ground, just inside that left or the right foot. Press the left foot down. And we'll come into that twist. So taking a nice long stretch with that left hand behind you. And then a stretch with the right arm. Take a twist. either wrapping the arm around the knee or hooking the elbow to the outside of the knee. Slowly untwisting, twist the other direction. Coming back to center, and this time let's just let both legs come long. Let's take one seated forward fold, reach the arms up to the sky. And leading with the heart, finding length, exhale. Hands can come maybe to the thighs, to the knees, maybe the ankles or the feet, or just resting along the side. A few breaths here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Coming back up. And then moving through boat pose, making our way to our back. Let's go real slowly through this. Lift the feet, maybe straightening the legs or keeping the knees bent. And very slowly make your way down to your back. Let's come into a happy baby pose, or just squeezing the knees into the chest. If you're coming into a happy baby, reaching inside the knees for the outer edge of the feet. Take the feet to the ground with the knees bent. Just windshield wiper the knees side to side. And if there's any final pose before you coming to Shavasana into the final resting pose, we have about 30 seconds until moving into stillness. Start to make your way into stillness, setting yourself up for the next part of deep relaxation. Coming into stillness, softening the body. Just becoming aware of the breath again, that gentle breath, breathing in and surrendering. Just begin to let go as we move more and more inwards, more and more united with Divine Spirit. the living Christ. As we just absorb and soak in some of the graces of our life, our faith, of the Easter time, of the Easter resurrection. Softening the entire body, the legs, the arms and hands, the skin and the muscles of the face. Softening the chest, the left shoulder and the right shoulder, left hip and right hip. Again, connecting with the grace that you're seeking, the grace that God might be inviting you to. Perhaps a sacred word. What is the word? What is it that this time of Easter is for you? Perhaps joy, perhaps hope, perhaps surrender, perhaps faith. Come, Holy Spirit. Begin to go on a journey, the journey of this Ignatian contemplation, entering into the scene, this post-resurrection scene of the two characters, two disciples on the road to Emmaus. I invite you just to be in it. Allow the imagination, the visualization to unfold without you mentally leading this or guiding it. Just allow it to unfold. You're welcome to remain laying down or come to a seat. We pray for the grace to rejoice of our redemption. There are two disciples walking on the road. Take a moment and just picture these two walking on the road. What does the road look like? What do these two disciples look like? Making their way from Jerusalem to Emmaus. And now join them. Join them as they walk along the road. What does the road feel like beneath your feet? What does the breeze, the wind, the sun feel like on your skin? What do the faces of the disciples look like after their friend, Jesus, has been crucified and buried? And as the other disciples are scattered or hiding, how do they feel in this moment? Listen to them. What do they talk about? And now a man catches up to you and the disciples. You know that this is Jesus, but the disciples don't recognize him. Take a moment to picture Jesus catching up to the disciples on the road to Emmaus. Listen to the voice of this man, of Jesus, as he asks, "What are you discussing with each other?" One of the disciples responds, "Are you the only one who does not know?" Jesus asks, "What are these things? What are these things that have happened in the past few days that you are talking about?" They explain the things that happened to Jesus of Nazareth. The man was a prophet and was considered by God and by all of God's people to be powerful. And he was handed over and sentenced to death. And we had hoped that he would be the one who is going to set us free. Some of the women in our group surprised us. They went down to the tomb, but could not find the body. But they came back saying that they had seen a vision of angels who told them that he is alive. And some of our group went to the tomb and found it exactly as the women had said, but they did not see him. And Jesus responded to them, "How foolish are you? How slow you are to believe everything that the prophets said. Was it not necessary for the Messiah to suffer these things and then to enter his glory?" Their hearts were burning within them as Jesus spoke. What does it feel like to have your heart burning within you? And then the disciples invited this man, who you know to be Jesus, to stay with them and to eat. He goes with them and sits down at the table. Take a moment to imagine this space. Imagining yourself sitting with the disciples and Jesus in the home in Emmaus. And the disciples asked him to bless the food. Listen to his blessing. He breaks the bread and hands pieces to you and to the disciples. Feel the piece of bread in your hands. And suddenly the disciples realized that this was Jesus. And then Jesus vanishes in their sight. And the disciples say, "Were not our hearts burning within us as he spoke to us on the road?" How do they feel in this moment? And the disciples got up and they ran. They ran to tell the others what they had just experienced. And now I invite you to picture Jesus once again sitting with you. What do you want to say to him? Or what does he want to say to you? Take a couple minutes to talk with him and listen for a response. You may continue to stay in this, allowing the conversation to unfold. When you're ready, beginning to bring a little awareness back to your breath, back to your body. Bringing some movement back to the toes and the fingers, the wrists and ankles. And at your own pace, just gently make your way to fetal position on one side and beginning to come to a seat. So as we spend time around the Blessed Sacrament, may we feel the living God, the living Christ in our midst. We may continue this prayer, continue the conversation with Jesus. And we'll take a little bit of time to do a little chanting of a few hymns. You're welcome to join along as you get the hymns to repeat back. And so we'll chant for a few minutes and then have some more time of silence. At any point, if you need to leave, you can quietly make your way out. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and a very happy Easter to you all.
Wait for the Lord, whose day Wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. Wait for the Lord, be strong, take heart. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Ubi caritas et amor. Ubi caritas Deus ibi es. Ubi caritas et amor. Ubi caritas Deus ibi es. Ubi caritas et amor. Deus vivies, umi caritas et amor, ubi caritas